wonder about that. Like, how did y'all find that crop of artists so early? Of course, we know Run DMC, but the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, because you kind of setting yourself up for a win with those guys.
It was genius. It was all Rick Rubin. He was a mastermind, genius. Period.
Tell us about Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin loved strippers and wrestlers. He was all in there, and he had a vision that he protected so strongly. I still remember going to his dorm room, and he was in pain, hunched over in pain because he was looking at colors. Now, you guys respond to that Def Jam sleeve in such a positive way. That man spent days, hours, minutes painting over the precise colors and the relationship of those colors and the font size. And I looked at him and I said, whoa, I'm going to take a mental note. This guy's attention to detail. And that was such an important lesson for me, because I pay attention to the details, because I saw my man early on paying attention to. He was in pain searching for those right colors. It didn't happen by chance.
What part do demons play in the writing and performing of rock music? Everything. 100%. There isn't a record album you buy that has not been cast on by a Coven when the tape was first done. That's mandatory. That's required. And a demon is ordered to go with every rock album that comes off of that master tape. So you can go home and count how many demons you got alone.
The first one's called the Ankh. They call it the Cross of Life now. It's on at Christian bookstores and so on. The Cross of Life, or the Ankh, comes from Egypt. It means that you're a worshiper of Ra, the sun god. That's the Egyptian name for Lucifer. So it means that you worship Lucifer. It means that you despise virginity, that you're against virginity, that you practice orgies, and that you believe in reincarnation. That means that you don't believe in heaven or hell, that when you die you're going to come back again, and the Word of God is a lie because it says you'll live once and then judgment. But they say no. The next is the broken cross, the peace sign. Didn't it originate in Frisco or London during the peace movement? It's been around a long time. We've heard a lot of cracks about it, you know, the footprint of American chicken and all this type of thing. This is what it is. When a person wants to become a member of witchcraft, and they come from a Christian background, I didn't have to take this initiation because I was born into witchcraft. They're given a cross made out of ceramic clay, you know, baked clay, and it's turned upside down, and they take the crossbars and they break it, forcing the crossbars down and break the crossbars off. And they throw the pieces to the floor and shatter it. And the priest or priestess, whoever's doing the initiation, then announces, you are free from the bondage of the Christian church. And because of this act, you shall have peace evermore. Thus, the peace sign. It's called the broken cross.
It was genius. It was all Rick Rubin.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions, its name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what they call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises, and Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil is owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It's one of my jobs, as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. Crosby, Still, Nash & Young. I saw David the day before Christmas last year, talked with him. I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around to people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, now I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He said, come on, Lance, you know what the reason is. I said, please, David, I don't want to guess. Tell me what the main reason is. He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can place spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I'll explain what that means in a minute. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He says, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. I said, thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master's cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't wait to find a rock station somewhere and they sneak off just like getting a cigarette or a fix because it's addicting. That's why they can't give it up. The rest of the conversation was this. You can't cast a spell on a Christian, but you can get a Christian to cast a spell on themselves. If you give the permission for the spell to work, being a Christian won't block it. And rock music is not just a song. It is supernatural music that which is carefully designed by their spirit guides or familiar spirits in the form of spells. Now, although the devil's music's power is the music and God's music is the words, much of the songs are written in what we call witch language. Give you kind of an idea. Many of you talk on a CB, unless you know what a smoky is, and a 10-4, and a front door and back door and rocking chair and these type of things. You don't know what you're talking about. Same with witches. When you're in the first and second level, you have to learn over 2,000 words that said by anybody else means something totally different than when you say them. Elton John has said he's never written a song or sung a song that wasn't in witch language. And I want to show you something. See how many kids in here will be honest and adults. How many remember and have heard at least several times a song called Hotel California? Somebody tell me what it meant. Quickly, somebody tell me what it meant. Huh? That's pretty close. But from the words, what did it mean? Well, that's more of a guess. See, most people can't tell you. That's why when people do drugs and they listen to songs in which language, they get some of the meaning. But most of the time, they can't tell you. Stop and think how many songs are out there that you really like, and you don't have any idea what the person was talking about. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road? How about The Destroyer by Kiss? Can anybody tell me what it's about? Kiss said in it, kids, kill your parents. They're talking about Helter Skelter. Beatles sung Helter Skelter in which language? Nobody knew what it meant. Manson did because he belongs to the process. Helter Skelter is a several thousand-year-old word. Most of the music is either about Helter Skelter or a place called the Night Winds, which is what Hotel California is about, and different doctrines of witchcraft. You listen to them, your parents let you listen to them, and they have no idea. Kiss openly bragged how they were gaining control of people through their music because the people played their music. They told how they didn't form their own group. Their church, because they were ordained ministers of the Satanist church, placed them together. And that's how most of the music is done. David Crosby, when him and Crosby, Still, Nash & Young produced the record Two-Way Street, they ordered the principality of Medici to order demons of rebellion to go into the record, and everybody that heard it would be rebellious against law and order and government. And it was one of the reasons for the great upheaval in the 60s was that one album. And they take open credit for it.
The band leader and came and said, good evening, and you gentlemen want a table. So you're one of the reserve people. So we sat there, and we had our favorite alcoholic beverages, you know. And as we talked, The band leader says, how long have you fellas been involved with sorcery? And he shocked us a little bit. And I said, exactly what do you mean? Well, he said, you know, what you people are doing, talking to the supposed spirits of the dead. He says, this is silly.
And this man had been at the seance with you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's telling you that it's silly what you've just done.
Because see, my wife, he says, goes to these seances because she gets comfort and she gets something good out of it, good feeling out of it. And she lives for what the spirits, you know, are going to see that the future is going to be like. To me, he says, I can't bother with this stuff. He says, I want power. I go right to the source of power. And he says, how do you think that I became famous the way that I am? Well, I said, you must have had some good luck. Well, he says, there's no such thing as good luck. He says, there's either some power working for you somewhere, or you don't get ahead in this world. Not in my type of occupation. So it went from there. We got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Or did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah. So he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. They're fallen angels. They're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were
Well,
just
you know, it
demons?
shocked you a little bit, you know. Something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, you guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too.
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it. And he told us, he says, look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones.
Peep the songwriter's secret and try not to get carried away.
still out here doing these songs. You know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with you know, with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
Am I done?
No, we've got a couple more questions.
Okay, so but let me just tell you,
it up.
I've launched our service now in 17 countries. You know what makes me so proud? I'm so proud right now. I'm proud of the product, but more proud of that rap music is 40% of Russian market, 40% of Poland, 40% of France. rap music is taking over. I'm going to tell them they're a junkie and they're hooked on liquid heroin.
That's real.
You're junkie. You're junkie. Any rapper come right now, they come with a thing, I have to tell them, because to me, I don't want to. I feel my silence would be complicit.
With all the artists that you work with?
I think that's real, though.
It doesn't matter if I work with them or not. If they got a cup, I'm going to tell them they're a junkie and they're hooked on liquid heroin.
That's real.
Would it concern you enough to not work with someone if they were, say, they were in the middle of negotiating with you? Would
Yes,
that
go
make
ahead.
you say, okay, I don't know that I can do this deal?
What?
If you felt like they had a drug problem?
No. It's part of the math in my brain. Nothing good happens with junkies. Okay? Because remember, junkie, the definition of junkie means you have to hit a wall to get better. Now, there are many people who have been able to hit the wall and walk away. A lot of them don't. So, I don't like giving up people. I don't want to give up on people.
One of the biggest artists you ever had had a real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX, there's two people inside of him.
I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. We like 4 cars, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country, because I'd never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country, and it's not so much who, it's what, what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You can't call one person the devil.
Joe Arpaio?
You can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil.
And the Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with a fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. I think the opiate problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced and been a part of, and I can't fuck with it. The crack thing was devastating, but at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay? And I thought that spotlight, head crack, helped, even though it was harsh and really really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being
What?
a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying the
it's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash?
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago.
I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I was just there to post, and it's funny, and it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me doing, do you see me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but it's not
You put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is not
so let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free to
being.
post
I can post whatever I want. So say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people that
what
you're
you
making
did,
up, bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question. Next
anybody
question. Do
is
you guys
gonna
have any
look
more
at
questions
it,
for
and
me?
they're going to say,
You guys have any more
does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a clip.
beliefs?
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie, basketball related.
No, I don't want to talk about that situation ever again with anybody.
I kind of get possessed by the devil when I'm performing. I like headbanged so hard that I got concussion, which is funny.
Lifers, this is Holly Buzz with Bonnie
and Katrina.
Wow, Ariana Grande has got a real problem with demons, she told Complex magazine. Apparently, she went to a haunted cemetery called Stull Cemetery near Kansas City.
And it's actually supposedly one of the gateways to hell, supposed gateways to hell. And this is what she said happens. I felt this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car, and we smelled sulfur, which is the sign of a demon.
Who knew?
She said, "This is scary, let's leave." I rolled down the window before we left and said, "We apologize. We didn't mean to disrupt your peace." Then I took a picture, and there are 3 super distinct faces in the picture. They're faces of textbook demons.
That is so creepy.
It is super creepy.
And especially because she also says that she took the picture and she tried to send it to her manager, but it wouldn't download because it said it was too many megabytes. In fact, it was 666 megabytes, which is supposedly
the mark of the beast.
That's right.
And now Ariana is obviously very passionate about this demon encounter. She actually had a whole folder on her phone entitled Demons, but when the interviewer asked to see it, she said she had actually deleted it because so many crazy occurrences were happening.
Well, and she said that supposedly this Stull Cemetery is so known to be haunted that even the Pope wouldn't fly over it on his way to Colorado. However, that turns out to have been an urban myth. There was supposedly an article written in Time magazine about it, and we checked. no such article ever existed.
Ariana also said that she felt like the demons followed her back home. And she had an encounter where she was sleeping, where she saw this black figure over her bed. She didn't want to feed the fear. She thought it was there. It wanted to scare her. So she just called her friend and she fell asleep on the phone. When she woke up, the room was demon-free.
Certainly glad to hear that.
I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances
Uh-huh.
that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories
Mm-hmm.
of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When I saw
When you
them.
say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
People were saying, though, that you were on drugs, you lost your mind, you went into a mental institution. What is true, what is not?
But, okay, so then I got worse. So when I said I'm not going to do it, then all of a sudden it was like, well, now he has walking pneumonia. And then I knew long before I walked, I had considered walking.
You had considered
I had considered walking because I went back to work, and the vitamin love was gone because it was a real ugly negotiation. It's a situation where now everybody's taking credit for this and that and the other. It was getting ridiculous. And I knew I was going to leave, so I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. Martin Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He'd sit me down, "What's going on with you, baby boy? What? We'd talk about comedy, whatever." And, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, my God, Martin, are you okay?" And he said, "I got the best sleep I ever got in my life." That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, "They are trying to kill me"?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
Is that a gang sign? Have you, Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is. I have no idea. You don't know, Jimmy Fallon doesn't know, David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue. It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and, you know, and you know, look at him trying to come it up. It's hilarious, hilarious. And, you know, and I'm sick of, hold on a second. You know what they're trying to do? Who? This thing is buzzing. Hold on. They're trying to turn us into, you know, consumer drones of some sort. Hold on, I just got to get this.
And yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some... What happened? I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was temporarily interrupted by my iPhone 6 Plus.
That's a big one, huh?
5.5 heads-up HD display. I think what I was really trying to say was I think people will enjoy Dumb and Dumber this weekend.
And that is what I thought you were about to say.
They should all go to the theater. They should all go to the theater tomorrow and see it. Because we could use a good laugh. Ha, 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 ha.
So what's going on? Why, when you look at the ancient accounts of the ancient gods, do you again and again see this reoccurring theme of the serpent race, the serpent gods, the flying serpents? Why, in my research for The Biggest Secret, have I come across a stream of people from different walks of life all over the world who have told me the same thing, that they have seen, to their astonishment and amazement, they've seen key people in positions of power just demanifest from being a human physical form and become before their eyes a reptilian figure. When you look at the ancient gods of the Indus Valley, they talk about the Nagas, the gods who, wait for it, had the ability to manifest as human or manifest as reptiles. At the boundary between Temple Bar and the City of London, and it's a massive reptile figure, dragon figure, in the center of the road. Now, we're getting into what the biggest secret is here, because when you go around London, and indeed looking at the coats of arms of the aristocratic families, etc., again and again you keep seeing reptiles, you keep seeing dragons, and you've got the serpent race and the dragon race constantly recurring in the ancient texts describing the gods of the ancient world. And there is a reason for this. There is a reason why dragons appear everywhere, and that is the biggest secret.
show y'all this. What y'all think about this? Cause I ain't gonna front. This should look kind of crazy. Another one under the spirit possession. Okay, cause y'all messing around, these dudes messing around with these ghosts and spirits and shit, and then they go crazy for them. I told y'all. Look at the eye, y'all. Look at the eye.
Make even more noise for my band.
Against them. Money will keep me company.
Yeah.
For real. I wish I had me an Oprah. I'll take the money. Oh, I love myself an Oprah. Oh, my days. Oprah, holla at me. I'm in London.
Now, we have things that we want to talk about.
Yep.
Latest block, hip-hop rumors. Did French Montana get initiated into the Illuminati? And if that is the case, can you bring me in too, fam?
Yeah.
I want in, fam. I need some of this. I need some of this, fam. I need to get in. If there's any offers going, bring me in, baby. I'll sit next to Jay or yeah, I don't care. Bring me in, fam.
Me and Ross had the same conversation.
Is he in the Illuminati as well now?
Now, he asked me, you know...
He asked you. He asked you if you were in the Illuminati.
Nah, he said if the Illuminati come to your house, I'm going to let him in and I'm going to sign right there. I'm going to bring him in, let him meet my mother.
Exactly, sign her up too.
Son.
Yeah, get the whole fam in there.
The whole fam Illuminati.
Yeah, maybe like a family discount joining.
Yeah, like how can we get a family plan?
A family plan, exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
I don't mind if I just go off peak hours. I just want to be in. I actually keep a spare photograph just in case they need a passport photograph. for my nan's card. You know what I mean? I always walk with one in case the Illuminati come knocking late.
Yeah, I asked everybody. I'm like,
yeah,
when they coming for me? What do I need?
Exactly.
Another record?
Exactly, because I mean, it's obvious Puff's in the Illuminati.
Man, I mean, illumination. I can't wait.
Illumination, yes. Keep the lights on, fam. That's what it stands for. Let's keep the lights on up in here.
They got good credit. I need it.
Why do you think there is so much rumors about Illuminati, this and that? Why this secret organization that everyone seems to know about, but knows nothing about?
The secret society is the people that's rich. They hang around with each other.
Exactly.
That's bottom line.
Yeah.
You know, people that got, you know, same thing to lose.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like that's the Illuminati.
Exactly.
I mean, wow. I mean, that even if Illuminati was real, why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that's...
Which is pure paper.
That's controlling, like,
yeah,
more money. Like,
oh, man.
You done gave your soul to the streets already. Like,
exactly.
The streets ain't give you nothing but bullet wounds and stab wounds, and you lost your homies, and...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So why wouldn't you want to be part of an organization that make you millions and billions?
Billions and billions. Yeah.
You know, as far as Illuminati, but I just, like I told you, They come knocking on my door. I'm sitting them down. I'm making them some tea. I'm giving some piece of rock.
Exactly.
Show them the piece of rock tricks.
Exactly. Oh, really? Were they?
They love it.
Oh, for real? I mean, I would love to hang out with some old wrinkly guys who are billionaires. Seriously, I think that's just a win-win for me.
I'll call some young and tender things for them.
Yes. Get it balling. Get it balling.
Thirsty. Stephen, I'm curious. You're a Christian. I'm a Christian under construction, meaning I got my flaws. I admit to them. You're in Hollywood. I believe you reach a certain level in Hollywood, and then there's just like the demons, like the Illuminati, or the whole people come after you. Do you believe that too, or have you witnessed something like that happening in this industry at all?
Well, I believe that in the supernatural realm of spiritual warfare, there are people that pick sides. You know, there are people, you know, clearly call it Illuminati, call whatever you want, but there is the spirit of this world, and the Lord of this world is Satan, according to what I believe. So with that in mind, you can do a deal with him to have all the pleasures of this world, you know, because that way you're lifting him up and all that good stuff. But so I believe that some of that is relevant and prevalent, and you know, you can go to YouTube and Google and search on YouTube Illuminati, and you'll see stuff you wouldn't believe about very famous people, very famous musicians, and their music videos and images you clearly see in them that are satanic images.
Should this country start serving God? I'm sure, because the Illuminati believes that the only way they're going to gain control of the world is through America. Not through Russia, for all you communist towns, but through America. Now, if America gets saved, naturally they're going to lose it. Then that would take a mass revival upon the Christians' hearts first, and I do not believe that God's kids are ever going to grow up long enough to have one of those.
I spoke with your teenagers here at chapel, and I told them about a plan of the occult to place certain objects in Christians' homes to be able to put demonic influences into the home and tear down the home and the Christian prayer life and place rebellion and depression and suicide upon Christians. Now you may think, well, I'm a Christian, that's impossible. Listen to me. When you take something that belongs to the devil into your possession, you're asking for trouble. All right? The Bible, the Word of God, was wholly inspired by the Holy Ghost. All right? Nobody, I think, will argue with me that's a born-again Christian, at least. Certain objects are inspired by the spirit of Satan, by demonic influence. Rock music. If witches can't cast spells on witches, on Christians, they got smart. They'll let the Christians cast the spells on themselves. The witches will quote the spells in rock music, and then let the Christians play them, and they keep casting the spells over and over on themselves. That's why rock music. Now you may think that's garbage, but the witches believe it, and I believe it, because I've seen it done. That's why rebellion and drugs and the sexual revolution have swept your children, and you try to shelter them from it by sending them to a Christian school, and then you let the world be brought into your homes in the form of rock music.
It says here, what does the inducing ceremony, I guess that means initiation ceremony, for the witches involved? The same thing that you do to become a Mason, you do to become a witch.
I sit on a council of 13 people that take orders only from the Rothschild Tribunal in London, which they claim they take their orders directly from Lucifer.